Summary of today's top news, October 31st, 2025. World news. Leaders of the United States and China, Donald Trump and Xi Jinping, met in Busan for the first face-to-face summit in years. They discussed tariffs, trade in rare earths and chips, and other strategic issues. As part of the meeting, the U.S. agreed to cut some tariffs on Chinese imports and China agreed to increase purchases of U.S. soybeans. There was also a temporary pause in China's rare earth export restrictions. Experts note this may mark a short-term truce in U.S.-China trade and tech tensions, but structural issues remain, and the relationship is likely to stay volatile. U.S. government shutdown effects. The U.S. government shutdown continues to cause widespread uncertainty, impacting services like air traffic control and food aid programs. Refugee policy. The Trump administration announced the lowest refugee admission cap in U.S. history, setting it at 7,500, with priority given to white South Africans, a move heavily criticized by refugee advocates. Global conflicts. Ongoing tensions persist in various regions, including Sudan, mass killings in Darfur, Gaza, ceasefire breaches and renewed attacks, and Lebanon, Israeli incursion. Toronto Blue Jays lead the World Series 3-2 against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Game 6 is tonight, with Toronto aiming for their first championship in over 30 years. Pitchers Kevin Gausman, Blue Jays, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Dodgers, will face off in a high-stakes showdown. Small island nations spotlighted for resilience amid climate change and biodiversity loss. Global leaders are calling for stronger support and recognition of their sustainability efforts.
Economy news. On a macro level, climate-related factors and emerging market shifts are also influencing the financial outlook. One estimate puts climate change impacts at cost of $1.4 trillion per year to the global economy. U.S. interest rate cut. The U.S. Federal Reserve cut its benchmark interest rate by a quarter point to a range of 3.75% to 4.0%, citing a weakening labor market. Markets, however, showed some negative reaction despite the cut. European Central Bank (ECB) holds rates. The ECB kept its key deposit rate on hold at 2% for the third consecutive meeting, despite modest economic recovery and inflation concerns in the Eurozone. Global trade and tariffs. The U.S. Senate passed a bill to nullify President Trump's sweeping global tariffs on more than 100 nations, signaling a potential rollback of protectionist trade measures. Volta Economic Forum kicks off in Ghana, focusing on unlocking regional potential and launching a 24-hour economy policy. Global economic outlook remains dim, despite modest short-term improvements. The IMF and S&P Global warn of volatility due to fading temporary boosts and AI-driven market risks.
Finance news. In global markets, major tech firms are driving valuations sky high. For example, Nvidia reached a $5 trillion valuation, while Microsoft hit $4 trillion, on surging demand for AI chips and infrastructure. Meanwhile, the broader stock market is showing mixed signals. Some big tech companies reported large spend forecasts or tax charges that weighed on investor sentiment. Foreign exchange trading hits record highs, driven by tariff tensions. The US dollar remains dominant, while stablecoins gain traction in Europe. US government shutdown delays key economic data, adding uncertainty to financial markets. Corporate earnings. Chinese electric car manufacturer BYD reported a significant 33% drop in its third-quarter profits.
Technology news. The AI boom is reshaping the tech landscape. Heavy investments in data centers and AI infrastructure by firms such as Google, Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon are helping sustain economic growth amid weak consumer demand. At the same time, cloud service disruptions affected millions. Microsoft's Azure platform experienced a widespread outage due to a configuration error just before its Q3 earnings release. Analysts caution about an AI bubble risk, as valuations soar, but many AI businesses are still far from profitability. Nvidia's valuation. Chipmaker Nvidia hit a $5 trillion valuation, driven by the ongoing boom in artificial intelligence, AI. OpenAI's IPO plans. The creator of ChatGPT, OpenAI, is reportedly preparing for an initial public offering, IPO, that could value the company at up to $1 trillion, possibly in the second half of 2026. This news follows a restructuring deal that gave Microsoft a 27% stake. AI in creative tools. Adobe announced new, agentic AI, assistants for its creative suite, like Photoshop and Express, to help creators work more efficiently and intuitively, aiming to integrate conversational AI directly into their tools. AI chatbot safety concerns. Character.ai, a popular chatbot company, is banning users under 18 after facing legal scrutiny and a lawsuit over a child suicide that was allegedly linked to the platform's virtual companion. OpenAI launches ChatGPT Atlas, an AI-powered browser designed to challenge Google Chrome. It's currently available only on Mac. WhatsApp ends support for older phones today, urging users to back up their data to avoid losing messages. AI breakthroughs dominate October. OpenAI's GPT-5.5 and DeepMind's Gemini Ultra 2 push boundaries in reasoning and real-time data integration.